Welcome to Spoken Reviews, home of the Spoken Reviews. Today, guys, we are doing a 260-mile road trip from Fort Worth, Texas, down to Houston, Texas. So please enjoy the trip. This will be our first inaugural trip in the brand new 2024 Mustang Mach. All right, now, so we're starting the trip. As you can see, one of the cool things about the Mach is they have this range map where you can kind of see how far you can get with the range. It's pretty helpful. It's one of those things that it's exclusive to Ford. You can have this in both the Mach and the Ford Lightning, but it is kind of cool just to visually see, is your destination in the map. As you can see now, we're just kind of headed out of town on the tollways. So it's a pretty good trip, pretty smooth ride. A little bit more of a delay. It took about an hour and some change to pick up both kids, one from kindergarten day pickup and one from daycare. So a little bit longer to do that. So I ended up going from 100% down to 95% before I actually left town. This is an unplanned trip that we had to stop because my 3-year-old is potty training and he hit us with the "Dad, I have to pee." So we did have to stop a little early. But you can see we were still cruising here. This one, we're kind of getting a little dicey. As you can see, 125 miles of range and 103 miles to our destination in Madisonville. So we were getting a little nervous. We had multiple opportunities to stop at Tesla and Electrify America, chargers along the way, either in Fairfield, Texas or in Centerville, Texas. But we decided to try to go from Fort Worth all the way to Madisonville, which is pretty aggressive. But we figured, hey, even though we have the standard range battery, let's see if we can kind of push this to the edge. As you guys can see, getting a little closer with that. And you can see we're kind of cruising at about 76, in between 80 to 70, 75 the whole time for the most part. And pretty impressed with the actual highway range. As you guys can see, the gap gets a little closer here. So again, 85 miles to empty and 67 miles to range. And here we're pretty much passing Fairfield, Texas at this point. And at this point, we actually do see some traffic up ahead on the map and we realize, oh crap, we're going to have a little bit of delay. And I think the screen was saying about a 30-minute delay with traffic. As you can see, we're still kind of watching the screen, but really just kind of enjoying the ride. It wasn't too bad because the kids are pretty relaxed. Parents out there kind of know what it's like when the kids aren't relaxed. So a lot of times the quality of the trip comes and goes with the kids. Really enjoying the Blue Cruise. You can see you can actually signal and the car will switch for you. So it's super cool. Definitely a lot better Blue Cruise in 2024 than when I had my Mustang Mach-E in 2022. So huge improvements with the Blue Cruise. All new cars do come with 90 days free trial. If I'm being honest, probably not going to extend past that because it's pretty expensive. But we'll definitely be using it for the next 90 days, right? So here we are getting a lot closer. Again, 28 miles range, and we're coming up on Madisonville. So we're slowly getting there. As you guys can see, the sun is slowly starting to set, and some of these clouds are getting kind of bad. Again, this is going to be Labor Day weekend of 2024. So anyone that's kind of aware of the weather that we had out in Texas, it did get a little dicey. And as you can see, here we're starting to experience some rain. But, we need the rain because we've definitely been going through, a bit of a drought here in Texas, especially in North Texas. I think the Gulf area has gotten some more rain. But yeah, here we are at the supercharger in Madisonville, which is always kind of fun / awkward because I have to block 2 spots to park in here, especially in the rain, and people really aren't as familiar with, non-Tesla vehicles parking. So definitely got a lot of people kind of looking, and I kind of just waved at them. It's kind of funny. I think people assume, like, what is this guy doing? He's an idiot. He's trying to charge a Tesla supercharger just because they don't know. Or they could just be haters. Again, we're huge Tesla fans. We've had 4 different Teslas. We still have a Tesla. This just happens to be a trip in the Mach-E. So we're just kind of EV enthusiasts as well as truck enthusiasts in my family. So, we love both EVs and trucks. Charge speed was pretty solid. I think we went from 14% to 80% in about 25 minutes. Now, the one thing that did kind of stink about this charge was the fact that since it was raining, we couldn't go inside of Buc-ee's and like use the restroom to get food because it was like the kids were going to get soaked. So we had to kind of wait until we were done charging, which kind of the rain slowed down. So then we went in. So I will say that this did kind of delay the trip. Most trips, when it's not raining, you can basically, as you're charging, go right in and keep the process going, so you can kind of multitask, right? But unfortunately, we did miss that piece. So it is what it is, and you guys got to see how it's blocking that. At this point, and we're actually headed towards Humble, Texas, right outside of Houston. It's pretty much Houston, but it's one of the suburbs. As you guys can see, we are about 67 miles away and 129 miles of range, right? So pretty good, because we realized, hey, we're going to get there. We're going to be just fine with one charge, which to us that's a big win, right? Getting from DFW to Houston and Houston and back, that's pretty much the biggest drive that we do on a normal basis. And we kind of try to go visit our family about every 6 to 8 weeks, and especially a lot more during the holiday time. So kind of just testing the vehicle to realize, hey, can we do this? And the Mach performed excellent. And we did have the option of getting the extended range battery, but for us, honestly, to do this trip, honestly, I mean, between this, the Tesla, and the truck, we might only do this trip in the Mach maybe 3 times a year, twice a year. So it didn't really make sense to pay the extra money for the bigger battery when I don't need it on a regular basis. So that's why we went with the standard range, and that's also why we went with the Select, right? Had a fantastic deal on the lease, and there really was no need to get the bigger battery. Again, at this point, it's getting pretty late, but the drive is going amazing, and we are really, really getting close to our destination, and really just kind of enjoying the vehicle. A little bit different driving dynamic than the Tesla. A lot more, I guess I would call kind of like like that luxury boat feel, like how you would feel in your grandparents like Lincoln or Cadillac, right? Kind of very floaty. You can definitely feel the weight of the battery, versus when I'm in the Teslas, it doesn't really feel heavy. Like, I know the Teslas are heavy, but this doesn't feel heavy. But like whenever you hit a bump in the Mach, you can kind of like feel it. You can feel that weight. Whenever you turn quickly, you can kind of feel that weight. So here we are at our destination. Again, you can see the total trip was 264 miles, but an astounding 7 hours and 20 minutes, because one, it took us over an hour to pick up the kids. We had to stop for the bathroom break, stop for the charger, plus had to stop time to go in the charger. Then we also made another stop at at McDonald's to get food. So overall, the car did great. You can see here we're charging. My uncle, he actually has a Tesla. You can kind of see a brand new Tesla 2024 there, and he does have a Tesla charger. I didn't have that adapter to go from Tesla to NACS and regular, so you can see I'm over here just charging on the regular 120. Surprisingly, I did overnight end up getting like 30 miles just in the 120, which is pretty good, enough to get on the other side of Houston the next day. So overall, loving the Mustang Mach-E, especially, for what it is. It's a fantastic car. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Sub to the channel. Thanks a lot.